Hey guys, so today we are talking about credit scores. Now, as an expat in the UK, having a credit score is extremely important and it becomes really vital in a lot of everyday tasks. Now, unfortunately, when you move to the UK, no matter how good your credit score was in your home country, it doesn't matter because you are going to start from the beginning. Now, just throwing it out there, I am not an expert. I am not a financial advisor, but I am an expat living in the UK. So all of these things are things that I have lived through, things that I have experienced, things that I wish I knew earlier. So hopefully you can use this information to make good choices. Number one, we have make sure you are on the electoral roll. Now this is a really easy thing to do and it actually helps quite a bit. By registering to be on the electoral roll, so you are registering to vote if you are eligible to vote, it shows lenders you are who you say you are and you live where you say you live. And if you do ever move from your particular address or wherever you're registered to vote, definitely make sure to update this once you're in your new home. And as a side note, I have actually used this document in various visa applications or visa renewals because it is a great way to prove who you are. Now, to register to vote, you can do it online. All of the links will be in the video description. You may actually be surprised to know that you may be able to vote in certain types of elections. Now, the requirements are going to be different, but just as an example, to vote in a local government election, you must be registered to vote, be 18 or over, be registered at an address in the area you want to vote in, must not be legally excluded from voting, and one of the following: a British citizen, an Irish or EU citizen, a qualifying Commonwealth citizen, or a citizen of another country living in Scotland or Wales who has permission to enter or stay in the UK or who does not need permission. Now that's a little bit confusing, but as a Canadian, I was able to register to vote and I am able to vote in a lot of elections. Even if you don't vote, it is super helpful to be registered to vote because that does really improve your credit score. It won't improve overnight, but it is a really great basis to start at. Number two, we have open a bank account. So having a registered bank account can be very helpful, obviously, for day-to-day life. You kind of need a bank account, but it can actually help improve your credit score as well. Now, unfortunately, this situation is kind of annoying because it's really difficult to open a bank account with no credit history, but you want to open a bank account so you can improve your credit score. So how does that work? I do have a video on my channel going into all of the details of how to open that first account. The first one is the hardest, just to get started. And then once you have some credit history, you can probably get approved for a bunch of different types of accounts from a bunch of different UK establishments, but really it's getting that first one that can be difficult. So if you're still struggling with that, definitely check out my video. Number three, receiving regular income into your registered bank account actually helps. Of course, having regular employment and being paid regularly goes into your bank account. That shows lenders that you are receiving money, that you do have a job, and that helps build up your score. So this does take time again, but the sooner you can make it happen, the better. Another tip that can help improve your credit score is getting and using a credit card. Now, what I ended up doing was applying for what they call a credit building card. So these are specifically for people who are trying to build their credit history up. I use it maybe twice a month, and I pay it off immediately. No matter what type of card you get or with which bank or whatever, just make sure you use it occasionally. You show that you can use it, but most importantly, you pay it off immediately. So this helps show lenders that you have discipline when it comes to your money. You have money coming in, you are able to use a credit card, and then you are paying that off immediately. Number five, a tip that can help improve your credit score is going for small lines of credit. Now, as an expat with a very minimal credit history, you are not going to be approved for a lot of things. That's just the way it is, and it is deeply annoying. But you may be able to get something like a store card or a mobile phone contract. These types of programs tend to be not as strict as larger lines of credit, but they can really help improve your score. And please note, you may not be approved right away. So I couldn't get a mobile phone contract for a while because I had to prove that I had regular income for so many months before I was able to be approved. So just keep an eye on this one, but definitely go for it once you have enough credit history because it can really help improve it. Because a mobile contract is technically a credit agreement. You're making regular payments, which shows lenders that you are able to repay a debt. And it's something that you were probably going to use anyway. So it's not something, extra that you don't even really want. A mobile phone contract is, an everyday thing. It's super helpful. And as long as you are making those payments on time, don't have any problems with it, your credit score will improve, but with time. Number 6, don't over apply. So for a lot of situations, when you apply for something and you get rejected, that is noted on your record. If you are making several unsuccessful attempts at applying for certain things, say a credit card or whatever, those are gonna get logged negatively against you, which is so stupid when you think about it, but it is something to keep in mind. So if you do apply for something and you are rejected and it does come up as a negative strike against your name, just give it a couple of months before you try it again. Typically, when you apply for things, it should tell you whether it will negatively impact you if you are rejected. Some places, especially for like credit card builders, like credit cards that are credit builders, they will usually say ahead of time whether you would be approved or not. So that's really helpful to know ahead of time before going through with it. Number 7, you want to make sure you manage your household bills. Basically, when it comes to credit score and money and being an expat, you need to be on top of everything. So rent payments, council tax payments, bills, anything to do with household monthly bills and payments and all that kind of stuff, make sure they are all paid on time. The best way to do that really is to set up a direct debit. And most companies, electricity, water, whatever, rent, typically all of them should accept a direct debit type situation so you can get it set up and you don't have to worry about it. Do keep an eye on it though, just in case something were to happen, because negative payments or missed payments or those types of things can negatively affect you. Number 8 for improving your credit score is to make regular payments count. Now, typically, certain types of payments don't really affect your credit score, like subscriptions or like Netflix or that kind of stuff. But there is this new thing. Now, I haven't used it, but it's called Credit Ladder. And having a look at it, it looks really fascinating. So if you are interested, again, links in the description. This is not sponsored. I have not used it before, but it seems to be pretty helpful. So with Credit Ladder, you can share details of things like rent payments with these credit checkers. So you can sort of like log these types of payments and it can go towards improving your score. So typically like paying a bill or paying a subscription fee or rent doesn't necessarily improve your score. If you get behind on those types of things, then that can be an issue. But what it seems to be with Credit Ladder is where you're making these payments anyway, you're making them on time, you're paying things appropriately, it can help improve your score through this system. I haven't used it yet, I've only just found out about it, but it looks pretty interesting. Unfortunately, with credit scores as an expat, it's just one of those things that takes time and it's really annoying, but it's just something that you have to deal with. So I hope some of these tips can help you improve your score as quickly as possible. Do be patient though, because it does take time. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Definitely check out this video where I talk about how much money you should be saving to move to the UK. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.